We love to go boondocking. We have 200 amp hours of lithium batteries on board, and we have a 190 watt solar panel up top. But I want just a little more power, and we're going to take care of that in this episode of Travels with Delaney. Welcome back, everyone. If this is your first time here at Travels with Delaney, welcome. And for those of you returning, thank you so much for supporting our channel through watching our videos, giving it a thumbs up if you like the video, and sharing it out to your friends and family. Now, if you'd like to learn more about us as individuals, living in a log cabin home, and our weekend travels in our 2020 Lance 1985, you can check out our brand new channel, TWD Life. And I'm going to go ahead and link a link for that channel down below in the description of this video. But let's dive right into what this video is about. When we bought this trailer last June at Princess Craft RV in Round Rock, Texas, the trailer came in pre-wired for solar. So we went ahead and asked them to go ahead and add one 190 watt solar panel and a charge controller. Because it was pre-wired with the GoPower capabilities, they went ahead and put on the GoPower system. And what's nice is GoPower actually does have these systems where you can get everything, and they're designed to go together. So they put in that controller that came with the kit, as well as that one panel. Now, the nice thing about the GoPower system that they installed, it allows for up to 3 panels with that charge controller. What we're going to do today is we're going to add one additional 190 watt solar panel, which is going to take us from 190 to 380. We will still have that option in the future if we want to add that third panel. Now, last year we were really happy with this system. You can actually order this yourself if your trailer's already pre-wired for solar, and I think it would be a pretty easy install for you. On Amazon, I have actually seen those starter kits for the GoPower system around $600 to $700. Now, I paid $400 for the add-on solar panel, which we're going to be installing today. This is the box it came in. You can see this one says Overlander Solar Expansion Kit. So if you don't have any solar, then you would need to go with the starter kit, which is going to come with that charge controller. But this is just a single panel with the connections to tie it in if you already have a GoPower solar panel on your RV. So this should theoretically be a fairly easy install, and I'm going to ask my brother-in-law Darrin to help me do this. Now, as far as what I went ahead and prepared for with this is, obviously I ordered this kit. I went ahead and ordered a couple of MC4 cables with the connectors, just in case the 2 solar panels are too far apart and we need to connect them in between. And I ordered 2 extras then to go from the connectors to the port on the trailer. So I did that. I also went ahead and picked up some butyl tape and some Dicor, that self-leveling lap sealant, so that when we go ahead and put the 4 screws into the roof, we're going to use the butyl tape underneath, and then once they're screwed in, we're going to give it a nice coating of that Dicor sealant. All right, we're going to go ahead and begin our install. Now, this isn't like a formal install video. It's more just kind of show you what we're doing in adding this panel. So the panel comes with 4 pre-drilled holes that you can put the brackets in. All the hardware came with it. We didn't have to buy anything extra. What we're doing is, based upon the one panel that's up there, we know that the dealership used the outside, the 2 furthest outsides. So we're going ahead and mounting our brackets, because we're going to put this up there just like they did on the opposite side of the HVAC unit. So we'll get these put on. You'll see it comes with the cables right back here. We're going to cut these off. They'll give us enough. And it comes with the adapters to tie it in. And then I did buy the cables to go from the adapters over to where you plug in to go down to your solar controller. Now, they didn't need any additional cable when they installed our first panel, but when your first one was installed, if it didn't reach and they had installed cables, then you might not need to buy. Got it? Yep. So we want to mirror this one with the one that's already installed over there, because the thought process is we have joists going across. So if we line it up with theirs, then we will be able to hit one of those joists when we screw it in. Pretty close, I guess. What do you think?
think we're square here now.
Okay. And we're going off that back, right? You went,
yeah.
So.
Yep. Okay. And then you can walk through, which I think is better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think so. Just because you can get through. So we need to unplug those two. That goes into the trailer to the charge controller. So we're going to need to unplug those from the charge controller. They're an MC4 connector. There we go. There we go. So now we've got our connectors from solar panel number 1. What we need to do is see, will we be able to reach, or do we need an extender between the two? So the 2 males will go in that one end, so a male from each panel. I love that they give you the connectors you need, and you really can't screw this up. You put the 2 males from each panel in the connector where there's 2 female ports. And then the other connector has the 2 male ends, and then you use the females from each panel. Okay, popped in. And it looks like we're going to be able to just tie them together without actually having to use an extension, which I always think is better. The less wire you have, cabling, the less loss or potential loss. Do you need one of these tools?
It's just a little tweak on the inside.
Go in. All right. Now take our other connector.
This is like setting up DJ equipment, you know what I mean?
It is. It's a lot like setting up DJ. I know a little something about that too.
This wire connected to this wire, then it goes to that wire.
Okay. And then what I say is, let's not plug the system in until we get that one screwed in.
Okay.
Just because once we plug it in, sun's coming down on it, we're making power. So, in fact, probably should have covered it.
Yeah.
Keep the sun off of it. Just,
Yeah.
but I'd say go ahead and get it ready, and then all we have to do when we get that one screwed in is we'll plug it into the system. It's a pretty flawless system when you think about it. There's no way to really screw it up with these connectors.
Right.
Wait a minute. Oh, that doesn't go to that one. You'll have to take it apart. That's going to go to your connector, this solar panel 1.
But you just said.
Well, I wasn't totally watching, so. These projects are so much more fun with friends and family.
I am in the clear. You can't mess this up.
Yeah, I just said that. Well, yeah. I meant after you get the connectors put together. And now you get the MC4 connectors. I don't like, they're great because they don't come apart, but they're a bear to get apart when you need to. There you go. So that's going to go in the end of your hook an extension up to the end of your connector that ties the 2 panels. There we go. And now grab your other connector, which I think you have. You have a wire from this solar panel. There you go. Female into the male of the, I don't know what you call those, other connectors. I mean, you're tying 2 panels into one. Then you should have one more wire from that panel. And it looks like there it is.
Ooh, that's close.
Well, the good news is we haven't screwed that one in, is there?
Cheat it back a little bit.
That's why I like trying this before we tied it in. And I think I actually have some clips from our Halo View rear view camera, which I have a video on. I'll link that for you. It came with little 3M clips to tie cables down. I think that's what we're going to use. I don't like putting holes in the roof unnecessarily. So, and then you should have one extra cable, Darren. That's going to go on the end of that last connector you just hooked up. And those are going to be our 2 wires are going to come back over. It's going to run down into our charge controller. So, all right. So now I'm going to hand you the butyl tape. So really the next step is attaching the panel to the deck. So we'll take little pieces of butyl tape on each foot of the connectors or connections for the solar panel. Put that on the bottom, then we'll screw straight down, and then we'll come back with our die core and seal it all up. And then we'll make sure we put some die car on that screw that we took out. So I guess my job for the time being is to go find the caulk gun for the die core, the clips that we're going to use to lay this down, and yeah, and I'll get you the screws that we need. So, hey, it's only holes in my roof. You ready to do it?
Right. Is it one of those things where it's better when somebody else does it?
Uh-huh.
You want to put like one in each one to begin with, or what? Does it matter?
I don't think it matters. I just put them in. I'm going to look for those little 3M. It's been a month now since we completed our solar panel install, and honestly I really like the way it came out. You saw during the install that we did make sure there was room that we could still walk from the back of the trailer and get to the front of the trailer for things like cleaning out vents and resealing around vents and just any kind of maintenance work we'd want to do on the front of the trailer. I also thought the way the wires came out was nice and clean. We were fortunate that I still had those little 3M clips to use from our Halo View rear view camera, and that kind of tidied things up because I didn't want to put additional holes in the roof. I always like to minimize that. So the other thing I really like is we now have a solar panel on each side of the AC unit. So if the sun is at a position where it is not getting full exposure to one of the solar panels, there's at least one on the other side. So I feel like there's always going to be at least one panel getting maximum exposure depending on which way the trailer's situated at the time and throughout the day as the sun is moving. So really like the way that came out. They definitely are putting out the power that we had hoped for. Now I checked the monitor on several occasions when we've had direct full sunlight and we were peaking out around 19 amps. Now I would prefer that the controller stated in watts, but this particular GoPower does not. It states it in amps and you can do the conversion. So I think one of the reasons it wasn't higher, I haven't seen it higher, is our batteries honestly have just been staying close to full, and so it's on like a trickle charge, and I have a feeling that might be why we're not seeing a little bit more coming in. And there's just so many factors. Even though you have 390 watts of solar on your roof, doesn't mean you are going to get that. There's losses, and depending on how the sun is and the angles, there's just so much that goes into it. But overall, we took a 2,000-mile round trip back a couple weeks ago, and during our travel days we were getting sun, and every time we would stop for the evening our batteries were fully charged, and that's really what we were hoping for out of this system. Now we were at a full RV park, or a full hookup RV park, so I only one day went ahead and unplugged for the day to kind of see what would happen, but it was a nice sunny day in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and so we were using very little power, and by the end of the night we were still fully charged. So they're doing what we want them to do. I think the 2 panels is going to be enough. We're going to give it a try this summer, but we do have that option to expand if we want to. So do you use solar? I know solar is not for everyone, but let me know down below if you are a solar user. What brand of panels do you use and how many watts do you have? Until next time, everybody, we'll see you on down the road. Good night.